Well. It's been a while. It's been almost a year actually, but I had to pop out for this one as Oda not only dropped one of the greatest chapters in recent history, but he also dropped the most important panel in the entire story, outlining the entire history of the One Piece world from the future, the current world, even the Void Century, and beyond. Now, for us to understand what's going on, we first need to understand the current cycle that we're in. It was revealed to us that the world was destroyed twice before, and we're currently in the third world, with Nika being mentioned in all three instances, which is why some of the giants believe he's actually the god of destruction. However, Nika isn't the only god that's mentioned in these texts. There's the god of the earth, god of the sea, and god of the forest, all of whom were actually first mentioned back in chapter 287, page 15. And if you read the text, it clearly sounds like it's these gods that punished humanity and destroyed the world. However, we should take these gods with a grain of salt because we've seen countless times in the series that whenever humanity can't explain a certain phenomena, they go towards gods. And they even call creatures and other people gods as well, such as Lord Kashigami back in Skypiea, which was just a large serpent, the mountain god in Wano, which was just a big ass pig, and several characters throughout the series like the Celestial Dragons and whoever is the ruler of Skypiea. And 400 years ago back in Shandia, when Calgra's daughter was stricken with illness, they thought it was due to the gods punishing them, and so they tried to sacrifice her in order to appease them, when in actuality it was an illness that actually had a cure for it in a plant that was found in Shandia. So again, when a phenomena can't be explained and weird stuff's happening around the world, these guys just go towards gods and blame that, when in actuality it's just nature or some other being that's behind the scenes. This could of course all be figuratively speaking, but at the same time, if Sun God Nika is able to exist, I don't see why these other gods can't, but of course, only time will tell. So for now, we're gonna talk about the three worlds and how the first two were destroyed, and what is Nika and the other gods' involvement in the destruction of these worlds. Of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click the bell icon to stay notified. I'd greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, let's talk about the creation of the One Piece world. Now in the first world, within the earth burned endless flame. Humanity succumbed to their greed and desire, reaching out to the forbidden star. After the prayers and whispers of the enslaved, the sun god appeared. Enraged, the earth god alongside the serpent of hellfire covered the earth in death and darkness. They will not meet again. Now what does this text mean? Well, I believe the endless flame is clearly talking about the original mother flame, the undying fire, and this might have been in some sort of crater or underground, maybe towards the earth's core, because in the mural you can clearly see people descending underground and coming up from the other side with the fire fueling their technologically advanced city, which you can also see smoke coming out of the city. So I'm wondering if this was also polluting the earth, and thus this also enraged the earth god, because humanity, due to their greed, is reshaping the earth to how they see fit. But clearly you can see that history often repeats itself, and slavery was a thing even during these times, and clearly the enslaved were tired, praying every day that they be saved, and through their prayers the sun god appeared. It's possible that the undying flame was able to conjure their dreams into reality. This could also refer to the first devil fruit user, but it seems like devil fruits weren't really a thing until the second world, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. After Nika went to go fight for the freedom of the slaves, the earth god was enraged, and alongside the hell serpent, plunged the world into darkness. A lot of people, myself included, believe that this is actually a reference to the red line being formed. The reason I say that is because the red line on top of it, where the Lunarians once lived, was also called God's land. The red line could have been created through the means of magma, a volcano erupting, earthquakes, whatever the case is. The red line was formed and thus separated the entire world, creating the four blues, the New World and the Grand Line, and everyone was unable to meet again, and thus Sun God Nika was defeated for the first time. However, It's possible that this fire serpent could actually be a living creature because on the mural, it's one of the most detailed things on there. In fact, it kind of looks like a sea king. So it's very possible that the fire serpent could have been the original or first sea king and it's still slumbering somewhere on the sea floor, or it actually is the red line and over time land and rock covered it and it's just slumbering. The fire serpent appears to be coming out of the city as well, so it's possible that this could actually be a cybernetic creature created by humanity, powered by the undying flame. I do want to bring up as well that Elbaf was also known as the first world. So it's possible that Elbaf and the first world are actually connected or even one and the same, as sun god Nika's origins also hail from Elbaf, and we know that the world was plunged 200 meters underwater, so there's even more land underneath, and the Atom Tree goes even further down, so it's very possible all of humanity, or at least most of it, originate from Elbaf. But regardless, sun god Nika was defeated, the world was plunged into death and darkness, and they were not meant to meet again until we head into the second world, which we know as the Void Century. Now, according to the second text, a breath stirred within the abyss. The god of the forest summoned their demons, while the sun merely spread the embers of war. The people of the crescent and full moon dreamed, and humanity killed the sun, ascending to divinity and becoming gods. The god of the sea became enraged. They could never meet again. Now, what does all this mean? When it says there was breath within the void, I believe they're talking about life starting again after the destruction of the first world, and the force god taming the demons, to me, is clearly a reference to the creation of devil fruits and the devil fruit tree, which could also be connected to the Eve tree because of how bright the tree is in the middle of the mural. The Eve tree is said to bring sunlight all the way down to the bottom of the seafloor, so I do think it is connected to sun god Nika and possibly the undying flame as well. Maybe the undying flame was used on some sort of tree or plant and thus granting it power, allowing the dreams and desires of everyone from the first world, the people who touch the undying flame, being reincarnated into devil fruits. A little crazy, but I believe this tree being in the middle of the mural is supposed to imply the connection of the first and second world. The sun spreading the fires of war is clearly Joy Boy, who ate the Nika fruit, and instead of fulfilling the promise, all he did was start a world war that is still continuing to this day. Now, this one's interesting. Those of the half moon and those of the full moon dreamed. This could be interpreted in many ways. We know that the Skypians, Shandians, and Birkins literally came from the moon, and they even have their own ancient civilization and mural up there. This could also be referencing to the Lunarians who lived above the red line, and because of their name and the black wings, may have also came from the moon, who are also searching for Joy Boy as well. Those of the half crescent moon, I believe, is referring to the D clan. They are also mentioned in the third world as well. But also they could be referring to the Kozuki clan that also had half crescent moon symbol on their ankle to show as a sign of rebellion. But also Lady Toki mentions this in her farewell speech. She says, "You are the moon unaware of the dawn. One day you will fulfill your purpose." It then says that humanity killed the sun. They're talking about the world government joining together, destroying the ancient kingdom, and killing Joy Boy. But something interesting is said at the end. It's said that once the celestial dragons considered themselves as gods, the sea god was enraged. Now, this could be a reference to two things. One, the government using the ancient weapon and destroying lands and causing the sea levels to raise, and thus everyone in the world was like, oh, the sea gods are mad, and they're also mad because the devil fruits and we can't swim, they're punishing us. That's one way to look at it. Or option two, they're actually talking about Poseidon. Poseidon was said to be very close friends with Joy Boy, and because Joy Boy died, he was unable to fulfill the promise. So once the celestial dragons killed Joy Boy, it's possible that Poseidon, the mermaid princess of the time, became enraged and thus used her power to destroy the world. That to me makes a lot of of sense because Poseidon in Greek mythology is, you guessed it, god of the sea. And this would lead us directly into the third world, which is known as the current world, where chaos reigns, the world drifts into a void, referring to the void century, yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. This is clearly talking about the poneglyphs and those who have been waiting the fateful day. Its shadow looms as the voice of the half-moon echoes through the ages, the D-clan, and once more the sun god shall rise, laughing, dancing, guiding the world to its final act. Monkey D. Luffy, the sun is reborn, a new dawn will break, surely this time they will meet. Now there's something I want to talk about, and it's been mentioned in all three worlds. Who is they? As you might have noticed in the first and second world, it says they will not meet again, but in the third world it says they will meet. This could mean the seas are all united as one, thus creating the all blue, or could they be talking about the two sovereigns? Remember, the Sea King said that the two sovereigns will meet once again and they will guide the world into a new dawn, and the whales are rejoicing for that day. We do not know who the two sovereigns is. There's been many theories. Is it Vivi? Is it Shirahoshi? Could it be Momonosuke? We are not sure exactly what that is, but they could be referring them this entire time through these three worlds, and they have been going through a cycle every time. At the end it says the sun returns, bringing a new dawn. You can see a giant fireball in the hands of what appears to be Emu. I am now convinced that the original Mother Flame is truly the One Piece, and that once it's returned to its rightful place, they will finally fulfill the promise that was made centuries ago, and thus the cycle officially ends, slavery is over, the world is truly free, and we embrace a new dawn. But that's about it. We'll make a separate video talking specifically about the mural because there's so much more to digest just off that image, and I don't want to make a video that's like 5 to 10 hours. I don't think you guys want to sit through all that, but this is very, very exciting news. I'm still not sure how Blackbeard fits into all this. They might be referring to his ability a couple times in this with the emptiness, the void, the world is filled with death and darkness. So maybe that could be referring to the Yami Yami no Mi. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe these gods are also referring to the original ancient weapons that were said to destroy the world. If you have a title that's able to destroy the world, you might have done it before. So maybe the earth god refers to Pluton, sea god is Poseidon, as we mentioned earlier, and they destroyed the world at some point. And the ancient weapons are actually named after gods, so it's possible that Pluton, Uranus, and Poseidon actually existed at some point in time, but we'll see in the future. But we'll talk about that in a different video. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a good day and a good night. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.